we discovered that what God wants is past that. He wants past recognition and coping mechanism. He actually wants us to get healed. So when we discovered this model, the problem that I had is that I would use it on my clients and they all got healed and I worked myself out of my job. Which is actually pretty cool.
Yeah.
And in the process, what we discovered is that inner healing for me should be easy. It shouldn't be a stumbling block. It should be something that everybody should have access to. So it should be easy. It should be easily transferable. If I can do it, you can do it. And it should be cheap. Because the problem that most churches have and most places have is that the person that needs healing the most is the one that has the inability to keep a job, the inability to keep a relationship, the inability to do life, and they can't afford to go to a counselor, they can't afford to go to that someplace to get them healed, and so they continue the patterns. And so what I believe is that we should be able to equip the church to be able to do that so that the lowest common denominator of the church can actually have access to healing, become healed, and become productive members of society. So it should be easy, it should be cheap, and it should be easily accessible and easily transferable. And so that's what we're going to talk about. Do you want to talk about yours? Where are we going?
Okay. Yeah, when Dennis and I met, we were basically doing the same thing and had been doing it for years. I got into counseling and inner healing about 22 years ago. I got into it for really the same reason. I was what we would call in America a red hot mess. Red hot mess. I was a broken person, and even when I came into Christ, you would hear, well, you're a new creation, so just go be a new creation. And I thought, I lack a skill set to be a new creation. Like, I only know how to be a broken person, and I know that God can heal me, but I don't know how a well person responds to those things. The nice thing about this is it really is, inner healing really requires the church to be completely a whole system of healing. The reason being that God can heal the why you do what you do, but it doesn't give you a skill set to now become and have a different outcome. Because most of what we do is based on a premise of sowing and reaping. What you sow, you will reap. If you plant a pear tree, you're not going to get apples. You can pray apples over the tree, you can hope, believe, want, but if you plant a pear tree, you're going to get pears. And so if you want a different outcome, what we need to do is we need to sow at a root level. We need to actually change the tree. We need to exchange the tree. And so what inner healing does is it heals the why we do what we do. It heals the belief system that's incorrect or yielding the wrong kind of fruit. But it doesn't give us a skill set. And where the skill set comes from is living in community, from your life groups, from a church that you're connected to, from having relationship with people who will hold you accountable to the changes you're wanting to make. That's where the ultimate change actually happens. That's where you learn how to live out how a well person will respond to things. So in my experience, what really drove me to this was the need that I saw people around me that had what I would call an abundant life. And I looked at my life and it didn't look abundant. I didn't know how to do relationships. I didn't know how to sow in and to be sown into. I was really, in every way, fallow ground. And in my brokenness, I began to cry out. And God began to bring to me people who could speak truth to me. And at some level, began to expose me to really the power of God's healing power. That He's not just interested in our physical bodies, though He is interested in our physical bodies. And He's not just interested in our spiritual man, though He's very interested in our spiritual man. He actually cares about what we care about. And He cares about the fact that whatever's on the inside of us either blesses or defiles everybody around us. When you walk into a room, what you carry here will either bless or defile everyone in that room. I mean, you've all had that experience where somebody comes in and you're just like, I don't know what's going on, but that just doesn't feel good. You almost feel like you need to take a shower or something, like you just got slimed by a certain person walking in the room. And you've also experienced where somebody walks in and there's such a breath of fresh air and they feel like sunshine just walked in the room, and you find yourself drawn to it like a moth to the light. Like, I don't know what happened, but I just want some more of that. And so what's on the inside of us actually changes the atmosphere wherever we go. That's the beauty and the joy of serving Christ. Because we have access 24/7 to the master and creator of the universe, who also happens to be the lover of our soul. And the one who wants us to be whole even more than we do. And so he avails himself to that. And he brings people across our path that will sow into us and bring us God's truth, the kind of truth that sets you free, that makes you free.